Welcome back to the Dice Cast. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm here tonight with Justin.
How's it going, Nick?
Going real good. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Glad to have you around. Hopefully, the day after Christmas this game released?
Yeah, day after Christmas.
So when you're, polishing off some of those leftovers, having a couple of cookies, tune in, have a glass of milk, enjoy yourself.
Right. We've got a very Christmas-themed list from you, right?
Yeah, we have Santa and his elves today.
Grandfather Nurgle is basically the same as Father Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Same thing. And then the Plaguebearers, they're elves.
Oh, yeah. Pointy ears and everything.
They don't make toys, they make diseases, but, same difference.
I've got, several months ago, I ran a double dragon list against you. It was undead dragons at the time. It was zombie dragons. Little bit different double dragon tonight.
Oh.
The twins, the brothers.
I don't know if anybody watched last week, but going against one dragon, you could probably hear my heart break at a certain point in the video when Nagash miscast, and I'm hoping that I can get away with some better casting today.
Well, that miscast was so devastating that it removed Nagash from the entire meta.
They said, you know what, if that's going to happen, we don't need to play him at all anymore.
He's done. Let's get into the list.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, like I said at the top, I'm running double dragons. I've got Krondys and I've got Karazai. That's the bulk of my points. They are large and in charge, and I'm excited to see the two of them working together, with Krondys providing magical support, Karazai tearing things up, and both of them just cleaning up the table with their tails. In addition to that, I've got my general is a Lord Relictor, and he's got the Arcane Tome, so he's got a spell that he can cast as well as his prayer. So that's Blessed Weapons and Celestial Blades. And I've then got, for my battle line, 2 units of Liberators, 5 each, a unit of 2 Fulminators, it's Hammers of Sigmar, so their battle line, and I've got a Stormstrike Chariot to round out the list, Hunters of the Heartlands on the Chariot and on the Fulminators, and then as much as I can fit into a battle regiment, so it's a total of 4 drops.
So tonight I'm going to be playing Santa and his Jolly Elves, actually Nurgle. I'm bringing the Great Unclean one. He's going to be decked out with the Bile Blade and the Bile Sword. I think that's right, Double Blade. He'll be leading. He's got Nurgling Infestation as his command trait that will make him -1 to hit. I don't have any Nurglings in the list, so the other buff won't really take effect. But I just like making him more tanky. He'll also know the lore of Fleshy Abundance. That's going to be able to increase the wounds on Plaguebearers or any demon unit by 1, which seems really nice right now. I'm also bringing... and his artifact is a Witherstave. The demon artifacts are just awful in the Nurgle book. I think the Witherstave makes the mortal wound output a little bit better, so I'm excited to see if that has a little bit of play. Then I have Sloppity Bile Piper and Gutrot Spume. And then my battle line is pretty simple. I have 3 units of 20 Elves or Plaguebearers and 1 unit of 5 Blight Kings to pair with Gutrot. Everything's wrapped up in a battle regiment, so I'll be 1 drop and a crap load of wounds for Nick to try to work through. I don't plan on killing much, but we'll see if the army can just stick around long enough to be a thorn in the side and get me a win here. Tonight the battle plan is Power Struggle. It is 5 objectives, 1 in the center and then 4 in each quadrant. This one's a little bit different. For the hold 1, hold 2, you have to hold the objective for 2 of your turns in a row before you get that. Now for the holding more section, that rule doesn't really apply, but that's the big thing about this one is you do kind of have to camp your objectives to make sure you're scoring them. Otherwise, it's the same kind of scoring of score 1, score 1, score 1, score 2 for a battle tactic. It's kind of fun. Deployment is way back, so there's going to be a 22-inch dead zone, which does make deep striking harder, but also kind of gives armies the benefit of avoiding an alpha. My deployment's pretty straight up. I just have a bunch of wounds lined up across my territory, and then I have Gut Rot and Blight Kings off the table to threaten deep striking So I rolled a 4 for the Cycle of Corruption. That is Plague of Misery. Heroes that do not have the Nurgle keyword cannot carry out heroic actions or issue the rally or inspiring presence command for this battle round. Typically, I think you want to hit this maybe a little bit later in the game, but I'll take it whenever I can get it. So that's what Nick's going to be dealing with on this first turn.
I really towed the line with my hammers. I don't have any real worries about anything coming up the middle too quickly, so I'm very comfortable having everything right up on the line. I know that Gut Rot and the Blight Kings are in deep strike, so I put my Liberators out on the flanks to prevent anything coming into my hammers and tying things up or causing a nuisance in turn 1. But then I just want to be able to project as much power as possible up through the center line. I fully expect to be given the first turn here. Maybe I won't be, but I fully expect to. So I just wanted to be able to countercharge if Justin does move forward.
Nick is correct. I am going to give him the first turn.
Okay. Good luck, Justin.
Good luck.
Alright, so top of turn 1 here, I'll have 2 command points to Justin's 3 to start the game. I am going to, for my battle tactic, pick Ferocious Advance. You know it, you love it. Everybody likes to run in the first turn, it turns out. For my units there, I'm going to pick the Lord Relictor, the Stormstrike Chariot, and Krondys. They're all going to run. And then for my heroic action, I don't get one this turn because of the Cycle of Corruption.
For my heroic action, I'm going to attempt to roll for a command point on my Great Unclean one. And I'll get one.
Okay. Into my hero phase proper, the Lord Relictor has a prayer and a spell he's going to attempt. He's going to start off with the prayer Bless Weapons. And he will get that on a 3. He's got the +1 to chanting rolls on his war scroll. I'm going to put Bless Weapons on Karazai. And Bless Weapons will give Karazai exploding 6s effectively. He's then going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. And Mystic Shield's going off on an 8.
I don't think we reached
Nope. Okay. And Mystic Shield here is going to go on Krondys. Krondys is then going to attempt to cast Atavistic Tempest. This is his War Scroll spell cast on a 9, and there's a few different effects he can choose. But he's got +3 to casting. And he's going to fail that on a 7. Krondys is then going to attempt to cast Arcane Bolt. And going to get that on an 11.
It's an 11?
Yep, an 11.
Oh, no.
Okay, so Arcane Bolt up on Krondys then. That's it for my hero phase then, and we can get into movement.
I'm going to spend a command point to roll redeploy. I'm going down to 2 on my unit of Plaguebearers.
When Karazai moves there into rage?
Yeah. We'll go 3.
Okay. Made that charge a little bit harder to make for Karazai. In my movement phase here, I really just pushed up Karazai on one flank. Moved up my vulnerable pieces into the center where I'll be able to strike back, but I don't have to worry about any real fast movement. Made sure that I wasn't going to have Gut Rot and some Blight Kings on my back flank without being able to have some recourse in that. And just really set up in order to take next turn potentially. Made sure to take the 3rd objective, so I'm going to get that extra victory point here. We can jump into shooting. The only unit I have in range that's eligible to shoot is going to be Karazai, and he is going to shoot at your Sloppity Vile Piper there. So on a 1 to 2, I'm going to get 1 mortal wound. 3 to 4, I'm going to get D3, and 5 or 6, really looking for that, D6 mortals. Going to get D3 mortals. 3 mortals.
I'll have 3 5-ups. I made 2. I have 1 wound on him.
Okay. Into the charge phase then, just 1 charge to make. Karazai is going to attempt this charge. Because of the redeploy, this is going to be a 9-inch charge. And I'll get it with a 12.
Okay.
Potentially impactful charge here. Karazai is definitely to be feared, especially with the buff he's got on him right now, so feel pretty good about that. End of the charge phase, Monstrous Actions. So Karazai here is going to stomp on your Sloppity Bilepiper. Sure. 2-up. Yep, D3. 1 mortal wound.
5-up. Nope, he's at 2.
Okay.
So the Sloppity Bilepiper is going to sing his tune. He's going to do... It doesn't make sense to do a stabbing we will go because Karazai automatically subtracts 1 attack from each of the models that attacks him. So we're going to go early one evening. My pustule was seeping, so that's going to be mortal, or 6s to wound are going to be mortals.
Okay. So here I am going to split my attacks. Karazai is going to put all of his maw attacks into the Sloppity Bilepiper, and then the rest of his profiles into the Plaguebearers. So I'll do the 6 jaw attacks first from Karazai, and I am going to spend a command point for all-out attack here. Sure. So I'm going to have 6 jaw attacks here into Sloppity. These are going to be on 2s and 3s. And 6s will explode because of the blessed weapons, so that's going to miss, but that 6 is an explosion. 3s to wound, that's going to be 5 at -3.
Oh, they'll go right through.
Okay, 15 damage total.
Sloppity's just... We're not going to roll.
Alright, that's going to be, for the rest of the game, not counting this phase, for the rest of the game, +1 attacks on Karazai's profiles. And then the rest of the profiles into the Plaguebearers. I'm on 12 tail attacks here and 4 talon attacks. So I'll do the talon attacks first. These are 2s and 3s. All of them hit with 1 6. And all of them wound. That is going to be 5 at -2
damage.
2 damage each, so 10 damage.
This would be 10 5-ups. I made 3 of them, so I'll take 7 damage.
Sure. And then 12 tail attacks, also on 2s and 3s. 4 1s there, but 3 6s to bring those back. 3s to wound. That is going to be 8 at -2.
They're going to go right through.
Okay, that's a total of 16 damage.
16 5-ups. 5, so it'll be 11 more damage.
Sure.
I'm going to activate with the Plaguebearers. I'm going to actually spend 1 to all-out attack in this phase, so I'll go down to 1 command point. I'm going to have 10 Plaguebearers in. I will not get an extra attack from my leader. 3s and 3s, 6s to wound will do immortal.
Sure. And 6s to hit will do a disease point.
You are correct. So we're going to get 2 disease points, and then just 1 didn't hit. So I'm going to mark this with a green little 2 over here. And then 3's to wound. 6s here will be immortal. Got 1 6, and then total of... So 7 saves at no rend.
7 saves at no rend. These are going to be 3-ups. And I'm just going to make all of them, you know, easy mode.
1 mortal wound. You get a...
1 mortal wound. Yeah. So Hammer's a Sigmar, because I'm wholly within 12 of the center of that objective. I'm going to get 6 up for that. I am going to take that 1 mortal wound, and then I do have the disease points, and I accumulate another one at the end of the phase, right?
Yes. So you're going to go to 3, and then it'll be 3 4-ups for mortals.
So disease rolls.
Just one mortal.
One mortal wound. 6 up from the hammers. I'll take it. So Karazai has now taken 2.
This is going to reset the 1.
Sure. But he now has a runny nose.
Yeah. That's going to be rough to recover from.
Is there any battle shock?
I'm going to spend my last command point to auto pass.
Sure. I feel pretty good about the turn. I was able to scoop 1 hero, 1 support piece. But we really see why Plaguebearers are going to be a force to be reckoned with in this new Nurgle Tome. 2 wounds each, and then the 5-up save, they really play more than like 3 wounds each. And a unit of 20 like we're running here, it's 60 effective wounds. Karazai is a combat monster. He did a lot of damage there, but not enough. I'm not going to take that objective. I did complete my battle tactic for 2. I hold more objectives than you, but I didn't hold any of them my last turn, obviously, because it's the first turn. So I'm going to get a total of 3 victory points here.
Then we'll go into Nurgle. First, I'm going to calculate my contagion points I'll get. I'm going to get 1 each from each of the Narmas for 2. I'll then get 3 just because I have models on my side. I will not get an additional 1 because Karazai is in my deployment, and I do not have anything in Nick's range, so I'm going to be starting with 5 points right now.
We each gain 1 command point at the start of the turn.
For my battle tactic, I'm going to take Savage Spearhead. You complete this battle tactic if there are 2 or more units from your starting army who are within your opponent's territory at the end of the turn.
Sure.
For my heroic action, I'm going to again roll for a command point with my Great Unclean one. Will not get it.
And I do not have a heroic action because of the cycle of corruption still.
Into my hero phase, I'm going to attempt to cast Fleshy Abundance from my Great Unclean one onto, well, let's see if it goes up. It's on a 7. I'm going to get it on an 8.
On an 8? How many casts do you have total?
2, potentially 3 if I cut myself.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to unbind that with my Lord Relictor. Krondys does not get any bonuses to unbind from the Regalia, so all of these are just going to be straight unbind rolls. And that one will go off. What's the range?
It's just within 14. So Fleshy Abundance went off. I'm going to put it onto the unit of Plaguebearers that are stuck in combat with Krondys. Hopefully this just increases their survivability for a while.
Sure. So they're up to 3 wounds each.
Yep. I'm going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. I'm going to get on a 10.
Alright, I'll attempt to unbind this, and it'll go off.
I'm going to put Mystic Shield on this group of 20 Plaguebearers that's in the middle here.
Sure.
I'm not going to cut myself to do another spell. So into my movement phase. I was able to get Fleshy Abundance off over there. I moved up with my 20 block into the middle to start contesting that objective. Great Unclean one moved up behind them. My other Plaguebearers moved in a semi-flanking situation. They're not very fast, but I do want to start potentially threatening on that other objective. And if I do end up summoning, I can summon from my tree back there, so I can always get back that objective. So, and then I dropped my unit of White Kings behind this unit of Liberators. I'm going to attempt the 9-inch charge. I would like to get on here and beat up some of your Liberators and take this, just so you can't move your Fulminators to the middle of the board. So we'll see how it goes. So at the end of my movement phase, 1 more disease point went on to Karazai. I do not have any shooting So we'll go right into charges. First with the Blight Kings, they need a 9. They're going to get in on 11. Then with Gut Rot, double ones. I'm going to use my Triumph to re-roll that. He's going to get on a 12.
Sure. A game of big charge rolls so far.
Yeah.
At the end of the charge phase, Karazai here is going to stomp onto that unit of Plaguebearers. On a 2-up. Yes, D3, 1 mortal wound.
5-up, 2. No. Start the combat phase. I'm going to attack with my Blight Kings. I only have 1 command point, which I really need to save for a potential battle shock with Karazai. So I am going to just go straight into attack.
I am going to spend a command point here for all-out defense.
So the Putrid Blight Kings have 5 attacks apiece. So it's going to be 25 attacks into Plaguebearers. 25 3s and 3s, 6s will be contagion points.
Sure.
It's 5 contagion points. You wouldn't mind.
Yep.
And then 3s to wound. So it's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and -1.
The -1 is going to be canceled out by the all-out defense. Their base save is a 4, and their shields bring them down to a 3. So I've got 15 3-ups. And I'm going to fail, looks like 6 of those. Because I'm Hammers of Sigmar, I will get 6-up wards on those. And I'm going to make 2, so that will be 2 dead Liberators. As they die, they're going to explode on this unit of Blight Kings. Total of 4 dice here, looking for 6s. None of them. My activation then, I'm going to activate with Karazai. He's going to put all of his attacks into that unit of Plaguebearers. He is now up to 7 attacks with his jaws. He's got +1 on all his profiles for killing Sloppity. So 7 jaw attacks. These are going to be on 3s and 2s with exploding 6s. That 6 will explode. 2s to wound here. That is going to be 5 at -3.
You're going to go right through.
Okay, 15 damage.
This is going to be 15 5-ups. So it's going to take 10. It's going to kill 3 and put 1 wound on another.
Okay. The Talon attacks are up to 5 attacks. They're going to be on 3s and 3s. All of them hit with 1 explosion. 3s to wound. That will be 4 at -2.
Gonna go right through.
Okay, 2 damage each on those, so a total of 8.
8 5-ups. Didn't make any. That doesn't seem good. So that will kill the 1 that had 1 wound on it, and then 2 more.
And then 13 tail attacks. There were 12 Plaguebearers at the activation, +1 for his ability, so 13 of them on 3s and 3s. Got a few 6s, 3 6s there. 3s to wound. Oops. That is going to be a total of 9 of them, -2 rend and 2 damage each, so 18 damage through.
6, 12, 18 5-ups. 11. 11 will kill 3, 6, 9.
Your activation.
I'm going to pile in with Gut Rot. So Gut Rot's first. He's got an axe. It's 4 attacks, 3s and 2s.
Oh.
1 at -1 run.
Okay, it's going to be a 3-up. Make it.
And then Flailing Tentacles is going to be 6 attacks. These are going to hit on 2s.
Okay, 1 more disease point there.
And then they are going to wound on 4s. All wound with no rend.
All wound, no rend. The save on the Liberators is capped at 3, so that's what these are going to be. And I'm going to save 2 of them, take 2 more. I've got 6s for Hammers of Sigmar, so 1 more dead Liberator. I'll activate with the Liberators then. I've got the Prime here and 1 with the Grand Hammer, so I'll attack first with the 1 with the Grand Hammer. I will pile in just a little bit here. And I'm going to put all these attacks into the Blight Kings. I'm going to have 2 attacks with the Grand Hammer. These are going to be on 3s and 3s. 1 hit, no wounds, and then 3 attacks with the regular hammer from the Prime, 3s and 4s, no hits. Typical effective Liberators. Your activation.
I'm going to attack with these 3 mighty Plaguebearers.
Sure.
They're going to have 3 attacks. These are going to hit on 4s. 6s will be a contagion point. They all hit. They're going to wound on 3s. Just 1 wound.
Alright. 3 up. That'll make it.
The Blight Kings have a special ability. I get to roll 5 dice, and each 3-up is going to be a mortal wound. So it's going to be 3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds on that Liberator. Need some 6-ups here. I'm going to fail all 3 of those, so that Liberator is going to be dead.
So this is going to tick up to 3.
Yep, disease points tick up to 7 on the Liberators.
We're going to roll into Battle Shock. I will roll for their contagion points. It's going to be 7 4-ups. Or disease points, I should say. They're going to take 3.
Okay, and I'm looking for 6-ups. I'm going to save 1 of them, so that is just going to kill 1 more Liberator.
And then I have 3 on Karazai. 2 go through.
Okay, 2 6-ups. Gonna save 1 of them. He's gonna take 1 from that, and disease counters are gonna reset to 1.
To pass my Battle Shock with Plaguebearers, I had 1 command point that I didn't spend all turn to make sure I could get through this. So, I control 1, 2, 3 objectives, so I control more. So, fortunately, the Blight Kings have a really nice ability that they do mortal wounds at the end of the combat phase. So, I was worried about having just 1 Liberator survive and pin me in. That didn't happen. This makes the next priority roll really consequential because I want to tie up those Fulminators if I can because they're so much more effective on the charge, and I believe that my Blight Kings can tank for a little bit even against them if they're not on the charge. Whereas I think Nick can easily wipe those Blight Kings if he gets the ability to charge with the Fulminators, and I do feel like this objective is pretty important to the game right now.
I was really hoping to hang on with that that unit of Liberators there. They're only 10 wounds though, so you expect them to die to a unit like the Blight Kings that are so far beyond their points value. So losing that was kind of expected. They did keep the Blight Kings off of my more important units for at least a turn, but now getting the priority would be really big here so that I can continue that momentum and not have my Fulminators tied up. So big priority roll here. And I got a 5. That gives gives me the option to take it here, and I feel like because of what's going to happen to my fulminators there if I don't take it, I definitely want to keep the good times rolling here. So I'm going to take top of 2.
So since we're moving into a new battle round, my Wheel of Corruption is going to move 1 place, and it's going to move to Nauseous Revulsion. Subtract 1 from charge rolls for enemy units that do not have the Nurgle keyword. Enemy units that do not have the Nurgle keyword cannot finish a pile-in, move closer to a friendly Nurgle unit than they were at the start of the move.
Okay, into the top of round 2 here then. I'm going to get 2 command points to your 3, and I'm going to start off with my battle tactic, which is going to be broken ranks on that unit of 3 Plaguebearers there.
Makes sense.
For my heroic action, I actually get one this turn, novel concept, and I am going to, due to the FAQ that just came out, I can't do a heroic recovery on Karazai, which is really what I'd like to be doing. So I am going to attempt to get an extra command point with Krondys here. And I will get it on a 4-up.
I'm going to attempt to get an extra command point with Great Unclean one. Nope.
Okay. Then going to attempt to pray for blessed weapons with the Lord Relictor. And I'll get that on a 6, so I'm going to put that on Krondys. He's going to have the exploding 6s. The Relictor then is going to attempt to cast Celestial Blades. And going to miscast, so take D3 mortal wounds. Just 1.
Taste your own medicine. Suck on that one.
Krondys is then going to attempt to cast Thunder Shock. This is his lore spell. And that's going to go off on an 11.
The Great Unclean one's going to try to come back. Nope.
Okay, so every unit within 18 inches on a 3-up is going to be at -1 to wound. So on the Putrid Blight Kings, no. On Gutrot Spew, 3-up, yes, he's -1 to wound. The Plaguebearers in the center of the board, yes, they're -1 to wound. And the Guo, no. So Spume and the big unit of Plaguebearers there. Krondys is then going to cast Atavistic Tempest. That's his War Scroll spell. And going to get that, you're going to fail that on an 8, needs a 9. With that, we can get into movement. Into the shooting phase then. A little bit of the shooting is relatively straightforward. Karazai is going to shoot at that unit of Plaguebearers he's engaged with. And he's going to do 1 mortal wound to him.
Cool.
You've got a 5-up.
Oh, thank you. 5-up after save. He made it.
Krondys is going to shoot into Gutrot Spume. Going to do D3 mortal wounds, 3 of them.
Gutrot's got a 5-up. He's not going to make any. He's got 3 going on. He's a total of 8.
And then the Fulminators are going to shoot at him as well. On 4-ups, 1 of them is going to go through for D3, 2 mortal wounds.
Two 5-ups. I did not make either of those either. He's at 5.
Okay. Into charges here, I've got the Stormstrike Chariot. Getting in on a 7. And the Chariot has the Ogre Charge rule, so this is going to be 7 dice, looking for 4s for mortal wounds. And that is going to be a total of 3 mortal wounds into the Blight Kings.
3 5-ups. Made 1. So 2 wounds on them.
Okay. Fulminators then are going to charge 5 inches. And Krondys is going to charge 10 inches. For my monstrous actions here, Krondys is going to roar at this unit of Blight Kings. And yes, going to deny them the ability to use command points or receive them. And Karazai is just going to stomp on those Plaguebearers on a 2-up. Yes, for 2 mortal wounds.
Oops. That will kill 1.
Sure. I'm going to activate first here with Krondys, and he's going to put all of his attacks into those Blight Kings. He has got 4 bite attacks. These are going to be on 3s and 2s. 6s here will explode for him. That is going to be 2 at -2 on Krondys' bites.
6 ups. Neither. Damage.
3 damage each.
5 ups. I made 4. It's gonna kill one of them.
Okay. And then 3 attacks with the Drake Lord's Talons. These are going to be on 3s and 3s. Just 1 hit and 1 wound at -2.
6 up. Nope.
2 damage.
That was... Nope.
The tail then will be 6 attacks on the 3s and 3s. Gonna miss 1 but have 1 explosion. That is gonna be 5 at -2.
This will be 5, 6 ups. Damage.
2 damage each.
10 5 ups. Gonna make just 2 of them, so it's gonna be 8 damage.
Of note, Karazai's disease counter ticked up at the end of the movement phase there to 2.
Oh man, that's really rough for you.
Your activation.
Gut Rot Spume will be -1 to wound here. So he's going to have 4 attacks, hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s because of the -1. He's going to get 2 through at -1.
Okay, the Fulminators, that's going to put them on a 4-up. Save both of those.
Then he's going to have 6 attacks. These are going to hit on 2s.
1 disease point there.
Yep. And then they're going to wound on 5s for 3 wounds at no rend.
3 wounds at no rend. 3 ups. I'm going to fail all 3 of those. 6 ups. Going to fail those, so I'll take 3. I'm going to activate then with Karazai next. So he's going to put all of his attacks into those 2 Plaguebearers. Hopefully I'll be able to get there.
Come on, Plaguebearers.
I've got 7 jaw attacks. These are going to be on 3s and 2s. No longer have the exploding 6s. That is going to be 3 at -3.
Damage is 9.
Yes.
9 5 ups. Gonna make 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 damage. There's 1 left on 1 wound.
Okay. Then the claw attacks, got 5 of those, 3s and 3s. That is going to be 3, total of 6 damage there.
6 5 ups. Oh! We got him.
Okay. And then by destroying a unit of... actually, let me check this. Because the Plaguebearers currently have a wound characteristic of 3, instead of healing 1 wound, Karazai will actually have +1 to run and charge for the rest of the game. Your activation.
I'm going to activate with my Blight Lords. It's going to be 10 attacks into Karazai.
Krondys.
Or Krondys, sorry. These are going to be 3s and 3s.
I'm going to go ahead and all-out defense here.
6, so this is 1 point there.
1 disease point.
1 disease point, and then 4 wounds at -1.
4 at -1. Cancelled out by the all-out defense. They were then on a 3-up, going to fail 3 of those. And then 6s from hammers, going to fail those, so he'll take 3. Tactical error here on my part. I really should have activated with Krondys last. It felt wrong to do so at the time, but I forgot about the fact that I can't pile in any closer to your units. So my Stormstrike Chariot is currently out of range to make any attacks. My Fulminators, so I'm not going to activate with him yet. I'm going to activate with the Fulminators, and they're only in range of Gut Rot Spume, so they're going to put all their attacks into Gut Rot. Should be some massive overkill here, but overkill is underrated. So going to have 10 attacks here on 3s and 3s with the glaives. That is 4 at -2.
4 6-ups.
And those 3 failures are 3 damage each, so 9 damage.
9 5-ups. He's dead.
Okay. At the end of the combat phase, then, we're going to see some explosions of disease points.
So I'm going to roll 2 dice into Krondys. These are going to be 4-ups.
This is for disease rolls?
Yeah, that's 2 mortal wounds on Krondys.
Is there any battle shock here that matters?
I'm going to spend my point.
Spending a command point to auto-pass battle shock?
Yep.
Yep. 2 mortal wounds into Krondys from disease. 6-ups from hammers. Fail both of those, he'll take 2.
And then 2 onto the fulminators. None.
Okay.
So just on average.
And then on the Stormcast Chariot, 1.
Yes. No.
And then on Karazai, 2.
2 mortal wounds.
Okay, 6-ups. Gonna fail both of those.
He's at 5. Just chipping away.
And then if you can tick down his...
Yeah.
Alright, so, that turn could have gone a little bit better if I would have ordered my attacks better. Forgetting the pylon rule was really consequential there. If I had ordered my attacks better, I would have been able to clean up this corner of the board. Unfortunate that I didn't, but I do take the objective there, and it is one that I held last turn, so I'll get a point for that. So I will score a victory point for holding 1, holding 2, both of those for 2 consecutive turns, and then holding more because I currently hold 3, and I completed my battle tactic with a monster, so that's going to be a total of 6 points there. And that's going to bring us to the bottom 2 Maggotkin. We each gain 1 command point.
Locus of Fecundity is going to go off. It's at the start of the hero phase. I'm just going to heal 1 wound from my Viking. He'll be down to 1.
Sure.
So my battle tactic for this round will be Monstrous Takeover. I will take my Great Unclean one. My heroic action for this round will be to attempt to roll for a command point with my Great Unclean one.
Sure.
Will I get it?
I'm going to attempt a heroic recovery with Karazai, and he will get it for D3. It's going to get 1 back, and that's just going to remove that disease counter on him.
So then I'm going to count up my contagion points. I have 5. I'm going to get another 3 from having something in my territory, 3 for having something in Nick's territory, 1 each for having 2 Feculent Narwhals. It's going to be 8. It's going to bring me up to 13 for the round. My Great Unclean one is going to attempt to cast Fleshy Abundance onto... No, I was going to cast it. It's not going to go off. So then I'm going to try to cast Mystic Shield. 5, is that good for Mystic Shield or not?
That is good.
Yeah.
Going to attempt to unbind that with the Lord Relictor, and I'll block it on a 7.
And then he's not going to cut himself into movement. So I was kind of in a pinch here. I needed to complete my battle tactic. So the only viable one at this point was Monstrous Takeover. So really I'm playing for the double at this point right now to try to be able to summon some stuff on this back objective. Nick could always take it off though. Really trying to make Nick fight in a lot of places where he can't be all at once. So that's the goal. Wish I would have gotten Fleshy Abundance off, but so be it, I can't. Threatening a lot of objectives. Retreated out with the Blight Kings just for them to be a thorn. Even if they tie up a unit, I'm happy with that. I'm going to roll
disease.
Yeah, I got 1 on Krondys. I'm going to roll for him, and 1 on the fulminators, and 1 on. So first we'll start with the chariot. No Krondys. No fulminators. Yes.
And they'll have their 6 up from hammers. Yep, they'll take.
And I'm going to control 1. I'm going to control 2. But I will not control more. And I will get a point or 2 points for monsters to cover.
Okay, so a total of 4 there.
I just want you guys to know that Nick has not lost a priority roll since he started playing dragons. So either they auto win it, or it's my turn. It's my time. You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
There we go. Yes,
You got it.
Huge. All right, I'm gonna take the double.
So this is going to seem a little bit weird. I have the option to burn an objective here. I am going to burn an objective that I currently control, and it's for the specific reason of denying Conquer on this objective. There's Conquer available on some other objectives, but I want to remove some incentive for just running onto this objective.
The Wheel of Corruption is going to shift to Rampant Disease. So when I make my disease rolls, I'm going to add 1 to all my rolls.
Sure.
My battle tactic is going to be Conquer on this objective right here.
Sure.
And then for my heroic action, I'm going to take Best Day Ever on the Great Unclean one.
Sure. My heroic action here is going to be attempting to heal Karazai. And he will do so. He'll D3. He's going to get 3 back, and he doesn't currently have any disease points on him, so he's going to get all 3 of those back.
Locus of Fecundity is going to go off on my Blight King, so it will be completely healed. So he's going to go down to 2.
Yeah.
I got to go through my points. I'm going to get 2 that will push me to 15. I'm going to get another 3 from having. So I will go to 18, and that will be it for this turn. I'm first going to try to cast Flashy Abundance. It's not going to go off on a 6. I'm going to try to cast Mystic Shield. Mystic Shield's going to go off on a 10.
Okay, I'll attempt to unbind that with the Relic Door. It'll go off.
He's going to put it on himself.
Sure.
And then I'm also going to attempt to cast Arcane Hope. It's going to go off on a 7.
Okay, so that he cut himself to do that?
Yes.
I'll attempt to unbind that with Krondys, and I'll block that on an 11.
Sure. Into movement. So my movement, I set myself up to have a charge with the Great Unclean one. I don't think he's going to kill Karazai, but I also don't think he'll die to Karazai. He's on Best Day Ever. He has Mystic Shield. And even if he ties up Karazai for a long time, I guess at this point I'm going to try to really win on objectives. I was able to summon 10 Plaguebearers on, which is going to drop my total contagion points to 4. But that's 30 effective wounds, so that's pretty nice to just drop on that objective. So we're going to have shooting in the chargers. So the Great Unclean one has, I think it's D6 shots. For 6.
I'm going to spend all-out defense here for Karazai.
These are going to hit on 3s. And wound on 2s. So 4 at -3.
4 at -3 would put Karazai to a 6-up. With the all-out defense, it's going to go to a 5-up. And I'm going to make one of those.
That's going to be 6 damage.
2 damage each, so 6 ups. And I'll make one of those, so I'm going to take 5. Very good.
I have a bunch of charges to make across the board. I'm going to start with my most important one, which is the Plaguebearers that need to get on this objective. Rerolling. 4 or 5.
5 will do it.
We'll attempt to charge with the Great Unclean one. Just gonna get in on a second. My Blade Kings. I'm gonna get in on 8. And my other unit of Blade Kings. Like a real big charge here. Make it a real big charge. My heroic action with my Great Unclean ones is important to go off. I am going to use his Mounds of Loathsome Flesh. This is another monstrous rampage, and typically you can't stomp on a monster because it's not a stomp. On a 2-up, he's going to do 4 mortal wounds.
4 mortal wounds, 6 ups. And I'll take all 4 of those. Effective. So for my monstrous actions, I'm going to roar at the Great Unclean one with Karazai. 3 up. Nope. And then I'm going to stomp on the Putrid Blight Kings with Krondys. On a 2 up, yes, for D3, gonna do 1 damage.
5 up. 1 has 1. I'm gonna pick my Great Unclean one to fight first.
Okay. I will all-out defense with Karazai.
I gotta go for the gusto here. I'm gonna spend a command point for all-out attack on the Great Unclean one. So his first profile is gonna have 4 attacks. These are gonna hit on 3s and wound on 2s. Everything goes through at -2 round.
4 at -2. With the all-out defense, these are going to be on 4 ups. And I'm going to make 2 of them and fail 2 of them.
That's 8 damage.
8 damage. So I need to make at least 2 of these 6 ups or Karazai is dead. And I make none of them. Karazai is dead. So I do have the possibility to spike some mortal wounds back at you here. 19 dice. And I will get 2 mortal wounds back at the ghoul at the end of the phase.
Okay. I'm going to just do my 5 level.
Sure.
I made 1. He's at 2.
Sure. I'm then going to activate with my Fulminators, and they're going to put all their attacks into the Putrid Blight Kings here. That's going to be 10 glaive attacks, not on the charge. 3s and 3s.
Who's got the exploding?
Krondys. That is going to be 4 at -2.
He's going to be 4 6-ups. Made 1.
1 damage each.
3 5-ups. Didn't make any. That's 3 wounds.
Okay, and then the claw attacks, also 3s and 3s. Gonna have 3 at -2.
3 6-ups. Didn't make any.
Okay, that's 6 damage.
6 5-ups. Made 3 there. So we are gonna get 1's gonna die, and this guy will have 2 on him.
Sure. Your activation.
Alright, so my Blight King is going to attack into the Fulminators. He's going to have 5 attacks. These are going to hit on 3s and wound on 3s. 6s will be a contagion point. Or a disease point, I'm sorry. 3 hits. And 3 wounds, -1.
Okay, 4 ups on Fulms. Gonna make 2 of those take 1 damage. Oh, 6 up for Hammers of Sigmar. Goes through. I'm gonna activate with the Liberators here. They're gonna put all their attacks into the Plaguebearers. I've got the Prime with the Grand Weapon. These are gonna be on 3s and 3s. And that is just 1 at -1.
It's going to go right through.
2 damage.
5 ups. Need 1. One's going to have 1 damage.
Sure, and then I've got the other 8 attacks on 3s and 4s. That is going to be 1 at -1 for 1 damage.
1 at -1 for 1 damage.
That's correct. They are fierce.
Yeah, they are. This is just going to be 5 up. No, this goes down. I'm going to fight back with these guys.
Sure.
So I'm going to have 14 in. I did not get the leader in. 6s here are going to do contagion points, 14 attacks. And on 4s, we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 disease points here. And then just 2 more hits. And then these will wound on 3s. So I'm going to get 4 wounds. No run.
Okay. For 3 ups. Gonna fail 3 of those.
Real slapbacks over there.
I'll activate then with Krondys. He's gonna have 7 tail attacks here. I'm gonna do his maw attacks first. They're gonna be 4 attacks on 3s and 2s. I am gonna spend a command point here for all out attack.
So 2s and 2s?
2s and 2s. 3 hits. The 6 does explode. And 2 to wound. So
6
2
damage.
-2. 3 damage each on those.
6 total, 5 ups. I'm gonna make 2.
And then he's got 3 talon attacks. These are going to be on 2s and 3s. The 6 explodes there. That's going to be 2 at -2.
Damage.
2 damage each, so 4 damage total.
4 5 ups. Made 2. Another will die.
And then 7 tail attacks on 2s and 3s. That 6 is going to explode. And it's going to be a total of 10 damage.
10 5 ups. 2, 4. That's gonna be 3 dead Plaguebearers. Into my pile. Five Plaguebearers do attacks with my leader. Will be 6 total attacks. 6s will do a contagion point or a disease point. I'll get that right 1 time. He's actually going to take 4 disease points.
Sure.
And I did 5 hits, 3s to wound. I did 3 wounds at no rend.
3 ups. And I'm going to fail 1 of those. So 6 up on that. And I'll save that one. So at the end of the combat phase, the Liberators have a chance to do some mortal wounds back here on a 4-up. Nope.
And I am going to attempt to roll my battle shock. 5 or 6, I'll lose a model. No. Then I'm going to roll my, at the end of combat, I'm going to add disease points here. This will go to 2, Krondys will go to 6, and the Liberators will go to 5. Because of the battle round I'm in, these disease points will go off on 3s. I'm going to start with the Liberators. They're going to take 4 disease.
Okay.
Krondys is going to take 4 as well.
Okay. He's got 4 6-ups. Gonna save 2 of those. Gonna take 2.
And then the Fulminators are going to have 2. They're going to take 2.
And the Fulminator's taking 2 here. 6-ups. They're gonna take 2. That is gonna kill 1 Fulminator. And carry 1 damage.
I'm extremely happy with how that turn went. Getting rid of Karazai was huge. Kind of frees up the Great Unclean one. I've also kind of successfully pinned in the Fulminators and Krondys, and I do control most of the objectives. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more for 3. Got my battle tactic for 5, and then I killed Karazai for the action point, so 6.
Sure. Definitely a rough turn on the Stormcast side. Leaving those Blight Kings alive, my mistake earlier really cost me there. I thought Karazai could tank the Great Unclean one, but I'm just I underestimate the Great Unclean one in the new book. There's some serious damage output there.
Yeah.
Relatively easily put out the what was it? 17 wounds needed to take down Karazai.
Yeah. The shooting I got really lucky on. That was huge. And the -3 rend on the shooting, if you roll a high number of shots, is just gigantic. And then going for the Gusto with best day ever, he just rolled hot enough on that top profile. Having 4 damage each was really impactful.
Sure. Definitely in a rough situation here going into the bottom of round 3. Need to start clawing back some of these objectives. The Maggotkin are everything they were advertised to be so far. So I'm going to need to definitely get a battle tactic, but I also need to somehow claim some ground here. So for my battle tactic, I'm going to take Conquer and try to take over that objective that I'm currently on. So this one right here. For my heroic action, I'm going to attempt to get an extra command point with Krondys. On a 4-up. Yep.
I'm going to try to get an extra command point with my Great Unclean one. Nope.
And then we can go into the hero phase proper. Krondys is going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. Going to get that on a currently at his tabling. He's going to get that on a 10. He's not yet tabled.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. He will Mystic Shield himself. The Lord Relictor is going to attempt a prayer. Going to attempt Bless Weapons. And going to get that off and put that on the Chariot. Also going to attempt Celestial Blades from the Lord Relictor. And not going to get that one successfully. Krondys is then going to attempt Thunderstrike. And getting that on a 9.
I'll attempt to combine. Nope.
Okay. So every unit within 18 inches may be -1 to wound. So the Plaguebearers he's engaged with are -1 to wound. These are on 3-ups. The Blight King is -1 to wound. The Great Unclean one is -1 to wound. The unit of Plaguebearers in the center of the board are also -1 to wound.
So everything's -1 to wound except the unit of Plaguebearers that's currently engaged with the Liberators.
And with that, we can get into movement phase here. Not a lot of opportunity to be real creative in my movement phase here. I need to clear this objective for Conquer. I am definitely going to lose out on some objective points here, but I absolutely need to control it at the end of the turn, and that's going to leave me a little bit behind in terms of dealing with other things, but at this point I am just looking at going for a double. Shooting here, Krondys is going to shoot into the Plaguebearers. Going to get D6 mortal wounds for 3.
3 5-ups. Nope. We'll kill 2 because I have 1-on-1.
The Fulminator is going to shoot into the Blight King. Yes, for D3, going to do 2 mortal wounds to the Blight King. Going to charge in then with the Storm Strike Chariot. With a 5, he'll make it in. So he'll have 5 dice on Ogre Charge, 4 ups. That is going to be 3 mortal wounds into the Plaguebearers.
3 5-ups. None. Come on, guys. I do better than this.
At the end of the charge phase, then, Krondys is going to stomp on the Plaguebearers on a 3-up. On a 2-up, excuse me. Yes, for D3. 1 mortal wound.
5-up. Test it.
My first activation in the combat phase, then, is going to be the Fulminator. Just going to pile in like that. And put all my attacks into the Blight King. It's going to be 5 attacks with the glaive, 3s and 3s. That is going to be 2 at -2.
It's going to be 6 ups. Neither.
1 damage each.
5 ups. He is dead.
You got him, boys. He hung around way too long.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain. He was really good.
Your activation.
6 into Krondys and just 1 going into your chariot.
Okay, the chariot is -1 to hit because you charged this turn.
I'll start with the chariot. This is going to be a 5 and a 4. No. Okay, so it's just going to be 5. 6s will do a disease point. Got 1 6 and just 1 hit. And this is going to wound on a 4 because of the -1. It will wound.
1 at 3-up. Going to save that one. My next activation is going to be with the Storm Strike Chariot. Currently has the exploding 6s. So 3 attacks with the axe. These are going to be on 3s and 3s. 1 hit. And 1 wound. 1 at -1.
Damage.
Just 1.
5-up. Nope. Oh, it's going to kill this guy.
Then 2 spear attacks on 3s and 3s. Both 6s. That's going to be 4 hits. And 4 wounds at -2. 2 damage each, so 8 damage total.
Yeah, this is going to be 8. 5 ups. Pass 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to kill 2 guys.
And then the Razor Beaks and Claws on 3s and 3s. Gonna get only 1 hit, but it's a 6, so it'll explode. That's gonna be 2 at -2. 1 damage each.
1 more dice.
Okay. And then you have an activation. Activating your Plaguebearers here?
Yeah, I'm activating my Plaguebearers. 10 attacks. 6s will do a disease point. It's going to be 4 disease points. 1 more hit, 2 more hits. And then these will wound on 3s. That's going to be 5. No run.
5 3-ups. And I'm going to save all those except 1, so take 1 damage there. It's going to kill him. He's going to explode back. 2 dice. No more wounds. Krondys is then going to attack. He's got 7 tail attacks here. 4 jaw attacks first. I'm going to spend a point for all-out attack here. So these are going to be on 2s and 2s. That's going to be 4 hits. And 3 wounds at -2.
9 damage.
9 damage here.
9 5-ups. I made 3. 3 are going to die.
Sure. His Talon attacks then are on 2s and 3s. All of them hit. And all wound at -2, 2 damage each, so 6 damage.
6 5-ups. I made 1, so it's going to kill 2.5.
And then 7 tail attacks, 2s and 3s. And that is going to be 2 at -2, 4 damage total.
2 at -2, 4 damage total. 4 5-ups. Didn't make any. That's going to be the and you got your
Yes, the Liberator Prime has 3 attacks with the Grand Weapon, 3s and 3s, 2 hits, just 1 wound at -1, 2 damage.
5 ups. Maybe 1. I don't owe any battle shock. You don't owe any battle shock.
At the end of the combat phase, the Liberator may do some mortal wounds on a 4-up. Yes, going to do D3 mortal wounds, 3 mortal wounds.
3 5-ups. Maybe 2. It's going to kill the one.
Sure.
This will go to a 7 at the end. None of the others will advance. So on the Liberator, 7 3-ups. He's going to take...
He is very certainly dead. 2 dice to explode back. He's going to not do any damage back. I am going to spend a command point when he dies to bring back a unit of 5 Liberators with my call to aid command ability.
Sure.
So the Liberators set up there.
So then I had 1 on the chariot, 1 mortal wound.
Okay. The chariot will have a 6-up from that center objective. He'll take the mortal wound.
3 on Krondys.
Okay. 3 6-ups. Gonna save one of them, take 2.
None on the phone.
Sure. Overall, not the worst turn I could have had. I did complete my battle tactic there, but I only hold 1 objective. It is an objective that I did hold in my last turn. So I will get 1 point for that and 2 for the battle tactic, total of 3 points there. And we'll be having a big roll-off for turn 4. And you have the choice.
I'm going to keep the priority going the same way it's been going.
Sure.
For my battle tactic this round, I am going to take Broken Ranks.
And target which battle line unit?
I'm going to target the only battle line option on the board, which is the Fulminator.
Sure.
My heroic action, I'm going to attempt to roll for a command point if the Great Unclean one. Nope.
I will attempt Finest Hour with Krondys.
I'm then going to do my contagion points, or my... So I was at 4. I'm going to get an additional 4 for the 2. Because of the battle round, it switched over to Corrupted Regrowth. At the start of your hero phase, you receive 1 extra CP for each Becca armor on your army. That'll push me to 8. Locus of Fecundity is going to go off and he'll deal 3 wounds for 1. Hero phase, I am going to attempt to cast Fleshy Abundance from the Great Unclean one. It's going to get on at 8.
I'll attempt to unbind that with the Relitor. It'll go off.
This unit of Plaguebearers will have an extra wound.
Sure.
I'm then going to cut him to be able to cast an extra spell this turn. He's going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. He's going to get on at 8.
I'll attempt to unbind that with Krondys. It'll go off.
And then I'm going to attempt to cast Arcane Bolt. He's going to get on at 8.
Likewise, attempt to unbind, and I'm going to block that one.
So he's got Mystic Shield going for him. Into movement.
In an attempt to keep the Fulminator from dying and denying Broken Ranks, I'm going to redeploy the Fulminator. He's going to go 3 inches.
End of my movement phase, I am going to bring on a Sloppity Bio Piper. So I moved my Great Unclean one in a position to charge. I'm not going to get my battle tactic this round, but at this point I think I can win on objectives if I pin Nick in. That's the hope, at least. So we're going to go with the shooting. We're going to put all the shots into Krondys.
Okay. Krondys is going to all out defense here.
She's going to be +2, right?
+3.
D6 shots for 1. This is going to hit on a 3. Nope. I bet you feel stupid. I'm going to charge with the Great Unclean one. He's going to get in on a 10. I'm going to try to attempt to charge with the Plaguebearers. They're going to get in on
You got
11. Into my monstrous action, I'm going to again try to 2-up. Will for 4 wounds on the Krondys.
4 mortals on Krondys, 6-ups. Gonna save 2 of those. He'll take 2. Krondys is going to roar at your Great Unclean one. Sure. On a 3-up. Yes.
Okay. At the start of the combat phase, Sloppy Biopiper is in range to give one of his tunes to my Plaguebearers. He's going to choose to give them an extra attack.
Sure.
So my Great Unclean one is only going to have Mystic Shield, and he's going to be -1 to wound here.
Okay.
So
I am going to all-out defense again with Krondys.
Sure. So the first attack is going to be 4 attacks. It's going to be hitting on 4s and wounding on 4s. This is not going to be good. 2. And 2 at -2 run.
2 at -2 with the +3 save from Mystic Shield, Finest Hour, and all-out defense. These are going to be on 2s. And I'm going to make both of those.
Sure. And then the Bioblade is going to have 4 attacks. These are going to hit on 3s. 2 more disease points, and they all hit. And wound on 4s. Just 1 wound at -1 rend.
1 at -1 is a 2-up. Made it.
And then he's got 15, a host of Nurglings with 15 attacks. I mean, I don't expect much, but I'll take any disease points I can get on him at this point. Hitting on 5s, wounding on 6s because of the -1. Not 1/6, so that's not great.
You got a 4 there.
Two wounds, no run.
2-ups. I'm gonna make those as well. Sure. I'll then activate with my Liberators. They're gonna pile in. And all of them are gonna put their attacks into that unit of Plaguebearers. 3 with the Grand Weapon from the Prime. 2 hits and 2 wounds at -1, a total of 4 damage.
4 or 5 ups. Need 1, I would kill 1.
And then 8 damage from the others. 8 attacks, rather. 3s and 4s. And that is going to be 4 at -1. 1 damage each.
4 5-ups. Didn't make any. That will kill 1 and leave 1 wound on another.
The Liberators are champions.
Yeah, they did well there.
Your activation.
So it's going to be 10 attacks. These are going to hit on 4s and wound on 4s because they're still -1. But 6s will be a disease. 1 6. And then 3 wounds.
3 wounds on 3-ups. Gonna fail one of those for 1 damage. And they've got the 6-up for hammers. Gonna make that one. So no damage there, just a disease point. I'll then activate with the Chariot. And then he's going to put all of his attacks into the Great Unclean one. Axe is going to be 3s and 3s. 6s here are going to explode. 1 hit. 1 wound at -1.
This will be a 4. Damage.
1.
This will be a 5-up. Nope.
And then 2 spear attacks, 3s and 3s. 1 hit. No wounds. And then the claws and beak attacks. 6 of them at 3s and 3s. 2 hits. And only 1 wound at -2.
This will be a 5-up. Nope. Damage.
1 damage.
5-up. Nope. He's a. I don't have anything else to attack, so you can go ahead.
Sure. Just going to pile Krondys a little bit here. And then put all of his attacks into the Great Unclean one. These are going to be on, because of the -1 to hit, on 4s and 2s. 1 hit. 1 at -2.
This will be a 5-up. Nope. Damage.
3 damage on that.
3 5-ups. He made 1, and he's going to bounce a disease point back onto him.
Okay.
So he's going to get 6.
Then the Talon attacks are going to be on 4s because of the -1 to hit, and 3s. Just 1 hit. 1 at -2.
This will be a 5-up. Yep.
And then the tail, just 1 attack. 4s and 3s. Hits. Wounds, -2.
5-up.
Okay. At the end of the combat phase, the Liberators on a 4-up will do D3 mortal wounds. Nope.
At the end of the combat phase, all the disease are going to go up as long as they're within range of a unit. I'm going to start rolling for the diseases. First on Krondys, he has 5. These are going to be 4-ups. I made 2 of them.
Okay. He's got 6-ups. He's going to take 1.
I'm then going to go into the
Fulminator has 1.
Fulminator. Yes.
6-up. He's going to take it.
Chariot. 1.
6-up. Yep.
So my objective there was to pin Nick to the best of my ability. I think I have done that. Great Unclean one might be in some trouble here, but he's going to be fighting through this turn to try to get through him. So I feel successful in that. I control most of the objectives, even though I might not get a battle tactic off.
So you hold 1, hold 2, hold more. It's going to be 3 points there.
Yep.
And we've got Stormcast, bottom of 4. We both gain a command point. For my battle tactic here, I'm going to take Slay the Warlord, and I'm going to pick the Great Unclean one. He's got 12 wounds left. It's going to be a very difficult ask for me to kill him efficiently, but definitely have to go for it. For my heroic action, I am going to attempt to get an extra command point with Krondys on a 4. Nope. I would have loved the heroic recovery there, but the new rules say you can't.
I'm going to try with a Great Unclean one. Nope.
Okay. In my hero phase proper then, Krondys is tabled enough that he is only at +1 to cast. The Lord Relictor is going to attempt his Healing Rain prayer on Krondys. And that's on a 1. He does have the High Priest command trait, so he gets to reroll that 1. And with that 2, even with his +1, he's going to fail that prayer. Alright, then I'm going to go into casting. Krondys is going to attempt Arcane Bolt. Going to get that on an 8. He's only at +1 currently.
I'm going to pass on this one.
Okay. Lord Relictor then is going to attempt to cast Celestial Blades. And that's currently going off on a 6.
I'm going to attempt on that. Nope.
Okay. Celestial Blades is going to go on Krondys then. That's +1 to wound. Krondys is then going to attempt Atavistic Tempest. Needs to an 8 on dice here. It's a casting value of 9. And going to fail that, but he does not miscast narrowly. And with that, we can go into movement. Not much to say about movement here. Very clear what I need to do. Just need to kill the Great Unclean one. He's got 12 wounds left, so I'm going to need to get some output in shooting and then finish him off. It's going to be difficult, but I'm hopeful that the output of some of these big units like the Fulminator will be able to do it. Into shooting then. Fulminator is going to shoot at the Great Unclean one on a 4-up. Yes, D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound.
5-up. Yes.
Karazai is going to shoot. He's going to do D6 mortal wounds for 2.
He's going to give 1 disease point back and take 1.
Sure.
And then we can get into charges. I'm going to charge first with the Fulminator. And he's going to get in with a 9. Then I'm going to charge with the Lord Relictor. He's going to get in with a 7. At the end of the charge phase, then, we can go into Monstrous Actions, and Krondys is just going to roar at your Great Unclean one. On a 3-up, yep.
Alright, I'm going to try to stop him. Yes, I'll take 3.
3 on Krondys, he's got his 6-ups, and going to make 2 of those, he'll take 1. Into the combat phase, I'm going to activate the Fulminator first. The Fulminator does more damage than Krondys. I'm hoping to peel the Great Unclean one here. I am going to spend 1 for auto attack with the Fulminator. So that's going to cancel out the -1 to hit. So this is going to be 5 3s and 3s with the glaives. And I'm going to hit with 4 of those. And wound with only 2 of them. So 2 at -2.
These are 5-ups. Made 1 this one.
3 damage.
3 5-ups. Made 1, he'll be at 9.
And then the mount attacks, all of them are going to hit. And 3 of them are going to wound at -2.
3 5-ups. Made 1.
Okay, 2 damage each.
This will be 4. It's going to do 1 back to you, and he's going to take 3.
1 disease point back to the Fulminator.
Yeah. He's at 12.
Sure. And it is your activation.
I'm going to put all my attacks into Krondys.
Sure.
So he's no longer -2 wound, and I can't give him any pluses to hit, so these are going to hit on 4s. Just 1, and then this is going to wound on 3. Oh, not what I wanted. Bile Blade, 4 attacks, 3s. 3 of them are going to hit, and then 3s to wound.
There was a 6 there as well, right?
I think so. Yeah, sorry. And then 3s to wound. So 2 wounds at -1.
2 at -1 are going to be 4-ups. Gonna fail both of those.
6 damage.
6 damage total. 6 6-ups. And Krondys will die. Gonna try to spike some wounds back. Looking for 6s. And gonna get 3 of them. So 3 mortal wounds at the end of the phase to the ghoul. That is gonna pull Krondys. Then I'm gonna attack with the Liberators into the Plaguebearers there. 3 attacks with the Great Weapon. It's gonna be 3 hits. Just 1 wound at -1, 2 damage.
2 5-ups. Didn't make either. This gentleman.
And then 6 attacks with regular hammers. It's going to be 3s and 4s. That is going to be 1 at -1, 1 damage.
I made it.
Your activation.
I'm going to pile in with these guys. At the beginning of combat, I did the same thing. I just didn't say it. They're +1 attack.
+1 attack, sure.
They're going to get in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be 12 attacks. 1 disease point. And then absolutely no wounds.
Okay. I will then activate the Stormstrike Chariot into the ghoul. Gonna have 3 attacks with the axe at 4s and 3s. 1 hit, no wounds there, and 2 attacks with the spear, 4s and 3s. 1 hit, 1 wound at -2.
This will be a 5-up.
Okay, and then 6 attacks with the beaks and claws, 4s and 3s. And that is going to be 2 at -2.
2 5-ups.
1 damage each.
He's going to be at 13.
How many damage did I do with him?
He's got 3 that he's got to take from the
3. Okay.
So you need to do 2 more damage.
Sure. The Lord Relictor is then
And
going
then
to
I gotta
attack?
fail the...
Yes. The Lord Relictor is going to attack then. He's got 4 attacks at currently 4s and 3s with the -1.
So just one hit, one wound at -1.
This is going to be a 4 up. No damage.
2 damage.
Passed him.
And with that, I can very safely concede the game. Good game, Justin.
Good game,
Maggotkin is no joke. The summoning and the durability of your basic battle line is really, really difficult to deal with. I felt like the dragons were actually really good into this matchup with the number of tail attacks that you could get, and they just don't get it done.
I think maybe if you attack on the sides first or whatever, it might be.
I don't think it necessarily really changes the flow of the game.
Great Unclean one hits hard now.
Yeah.
Shockingly, it's awesome.
The shooting attack, especially with 3 rend, when you get a decent number of attacks on that, 3 rend and 2 damage goes a long ways.
Yeah. And just when you get that fleshy abundance off, and just in general, Plaguebearers just tie shit up forever. I mean,
yeah.
Karazai couldn't get away for a long through 2 turns, which shouldn't happen. I mean, like, should happen, but like, you don't think of 20 battle line being able to do that against such a powerful.
For a 300-point unit to be able to tie him up that long is really significant. And then for the Great Unclean one to come in and do 17 damage to him on a 3-up save, that's no joke.
Yeah, I spiked. So my shooting ended up averaging out. I went 6 and then I went 1. So overall average, but I did really nicely into him. That 3 rend is just hard to save against, obviously.
Yeah.
And then his charge is really nice that you can actually use it on monsters now. That's huge because that's just whittling you down.
4 mortal wounds.
He was on best state. I mean, this was more of a fun list for you, where you just didn't have a lot of bodies too, and you didn't have the relic or sending stuff around. But it's still a good list. Both dragons are good. I don't know if it's a meta list, but obviously it's a fun list.
Yeah, I think the meta list for you certainly can't consider a Stormcast list to be a meta list without some shooting, right?
Yeah, and I think shooting makes a big difference. It's just so hard for my Nurgle to actually get into shooting. They can't get across the board quickly, and you're going to do a good enough job screening them off where even if I come in with a gut rod move, I'm probably not touching the shooting for a while.
The priority roll into 3 felt really, really impactful.
Oh, it was humongous.
I felt pretty well in control there, and then once that swung, really busted open. The disease mechanic, it doesn't feel impactful while it's going on, but over the course of the game, it ends up being a substantial amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps going off, and since it's going off in your turn as well, even if it's one mortal wound here and there, I had no idea that I was about to kill a Fulminator. I just didn't think that one of them was even that wounded, and all of a sudden he's popping, and
sure, just
the +1s that you get from the cycle of corruption, all of a sudden, it's little here and there, and all of a sudden things are falling off the table, so it's huge.
And it's especially impactful against a list like Stormcast, where they run low wounds and high saves. Those extra mortal wounds are really impactful. But against a lot of things in the meta, just being able to get that disease rolling. Yes, an enemy hero can clear that disease with heroic recovery, but heroic recovery is harder to pull off now. You can't do it in combat. And even if they do, it's effectively 1 extra damage on them because it's preventing that 1 healing.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about Maggotkin?
It's the kind of army I like. I like my models to stick around for a long time.
Sure.
So, in that respect, I was enjoying it. I also would like them to do a little bit of damage. And I'm not going to complain because, again, we're going to go back to the disease points. Sure, my guys weren't doing a lot of outright damage, other than, obviously, the ghoul. But your stuff was actually dying. I didn't think that was going to happen, but, Krondys took, 5 wounds. Granted, you healed 3 of them, but then
Karazai, you mean?
Or Karazai, sorry.
Yeah.
Took 5 wounds. Granted, you healed 3 before the Great Unclean one came in, but having done that, he could have been easily fully healthy. You know what I mean? And the Plaguebearers aren't going to do any damage to him. So yeah, the disease mechanic actually takes stuff off after it gets going.
Well, and you look at what the Guo did. He tanked up a couple of rounds from Krondys, and Krondys is not a combat monster, but it's not a slouch. And when he was swinging, he was taking things down. So one announcement for the channel, talking about upcoming games, we are going to be starting our Winter Rubicon tournament, which is going to be a tournament with 8 local players here. Well, one player traveling and 7 local players. And we'll be getting into, it's a single elimination bracket. So it's unlike most Age of Sigmar tournaments. We're not going to have 3 games and for everybody and sort out the points. It's going to be a streamed tournament, so it's going to be single elimination, kind of like the Final Four or the Elite 8, I guess it would be. And everybody's on different factions. We've got a really good diverse list of armies. So we'll be putting some things out soon with the brackets, and we're excited to get that going and get some good competitive games on the channel.
For sure. And this being the holiday season, it's a time to say what you're thankful for. When Nick and I started this channel, we hoped maybe one day to get 100 subscribers. You guys have been great. We've gotten a lot of comments. We appreciate all of it. I really appreciate everything Nick's done for the channel. He edits. He does so much of the work. He's got to be our Stanley Kubrick, reminding people to back off the table. And it's not always the most flashy job, but he does it really well. So Nick, I want to say thank you, and thank you to all our viewers.
And I'm just as thankful about everybody who's participated in the channel, and we've had a really great group of people that have played games on the channel, and a bunch of them at this point. I think we've had 7 or 8 people on the channel and counting. And so I'm super thankful for all of their contributions, and especially for your contributions hosting all these games here in the JustHammer Bunker. And then also really thankful for everybody who's come along on the ride, everybody who's viewing, liking our videos, commenting on them, and continuing that discussion. Just super glad to be a part of it. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate you hosting this with me, Justin, and being the mainstay here.
It's been really fun.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.